All right, we are here doing a Friday afternoon coffee chat with the mortgage expert for Halifax, Andrew Hutchison. And of course, we're going to ask him the leading question of how's the mortgage rate? So let's start with that.
Yeah, mortgage rates, there hasn't been too much movement, a little movement this year, at least from the fall. They are down a bit, but we are in obviously a high interest environment currently. Although we believe that's going to change, and not only believe
we hope that's going to change.
It's strongly, yes, it's strongly believed, and depending on what head economist you follow or what bank you're listening to, we can see as much as a possible, 2 to 2.3% deduction in our variable rates.
Yep.
That would be on the aggressive side. And on the fixed rates, we could see as much as 1.2 decrease, again, depending on which head economist you're listening to.
Got it. And we're here at the end of February, and rates right now are variable is?
Variable sitting around 6.3 if you're purchasing a new home, and your fixed, 5-year fixed is sitting around 5.09 if you're buying a new home.
So then when we get towards the end of the year, we're talking variable chopping 2% off that, so we're talking 4.3.
Yeah.
And fixed chopping 1 1.25?
Anywhere from 1 to 1 1/4. So it could be low fours into our fixed.
Yeah.
Our fixed could be dropping maybe even into the threes if we're at 5.09 now.
Wow.
That could be into the threes.
Yeah.
Again, that is on the more aggressive side. So depending on what side of that spectrum you sit. But that is really positive news that's being injected into the economy and into and just into our real estate market.
Yeah.
One thing to really note is that whenever rates are low, when they were hitting our historic lows a few years ago, and our unprecedented lows, our market shot up. And right now, rates haven't moved too much. They've come down a little bit this year. And we're already starting to see the market shift. Just this last week, there's been a huge increase in activity and offers, and I've had clients starting to see multiple offers into the teens, offers coming in on properties, and those rates haven't dropped a bit. So it's going to be a very interesting year to see. And inflation has dropped below 3%, which is what the Bank of Canada is trying to target. It is a 2.5 inflation rate. And it's dropped below 3 just in January, and so that is a really good sign in terms of seeing rates come down.
Yeah, and that's in terms of like what the rates are doing as well. The government's trying to balance, number one, inflation, and number two, if we're balancing inflation, we're going to pull that trigger on mortgage rates, which is why the last announcement was no change in the base rates.
No change.
And we're coming up to March. I don't know. We'll see if that's going to do the same. But I think we're all thinking no change again.
I think we're thinking no change. Depending again who you're looking at for your information, but some of the head economists are predicting that as early as March we could see a rate drop on the variable. I think it's going to be closer to June, July, but it'll be interesting to see. Nonetheless, all of the information triggers are showing that rates will be going down this year, which is very exciting.
So how is that going to affect the housing market? That brings us back into almost that like kind of 2021, 2022 situation where it was like not a lot of inventory, interest rates are low, lots of demand because there's not a lot of inventory, and therefore off we go. So the word on the street for a lot of the buyers is kind of get ready. Because if you're on the fence now, the trick is get off the fence and start looking at houses now. And maybe in the short term, you might pay a little bit more on the interest rate. Yeah. But so long as you're in a variable, then in the longer term, you'll be paying less because hopefully rates go down.
Or shorter term fixed. But date the rate, marry the house. So when you're buying a house, it always comes down to what's my monthly cost. And right now, let's say at a 5.09% 5-year fixed, maybe you're buying a house at $400,000 for, let's just say it's $2,300 a month for a mortgage, and I'm just throwing out numbers here for just to paint a picture.
Yeah,
but
give you the caveats.
If rates drop by 1.5, and all of a sudden my interest rate is 4% or 3.9, and all of a sudden that $2,300 now approves me at $430,000 or $450,000. Well, at the end of the day, I'm going to offer that higher amount because I'm paying the same amount each month, but it allows me to get the house. So with that, the house prices start climbing. And so if you're able to get in before that climb happens and let the home appreciate and gain equity, it's a huge win in just building wealth and getting in before the price gets too high.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, just this weekend on one of our listings that has been around for like 27, 28 days, all of a sudden we had 3 offers, multiple offers, over asking, and that was a house that's been on the market for like 28 days. And that's the kind of thing I think we're going to start seeing, because people will start thinking, hang on a minute, if rates are going to go down and I really want that house, and it just happens that 2 other people do, well, now I can offer more money because we know we're going to be able to afford it kind of in the longer term, as opposed to, okay, 2 to 6 months of a short term, okay, it's going to be a bit tighter, but in the long term, I get the property.
I've also done more pre-approvals in the last 3 months, like from the start of the year, than I've done in my whole career. So there's a lot of interest in getting into the market, and so I think that what happened last time scared a lot of people, and scared a lot of people in terms of, oh, I'm never going to be able to afford a house, or I was kind of weighted, I was sitting on the sidelines. So I think a lot of people are trying to get in. And whenever there's positive news about rates lowering, there's obviously a lot more people have a lot more confidence in buying a house because they have low rates. So there's just more people coming to the table. And that's another thing I noticed. Like I've done more pre-approvals than ever before.
Yeah. So again, this guy is kind of a leading indicator to what's about to happen to the market. Because if he's doing a ton of pre-approvals, that means people are getting ready, roughly in the like 90-day rate hold situation. So that means that the next 2-3 months, a lot of people will be like, I want to get the house, I want to get into the market. So it's going to start picking up, and we're of course at the end of February, heading into March, April, May, spring months, we get rid of all the snow and things get warmer. We know that it's going to happen. So the big thing is get ready and get prepared for potentially a really busy spring, multiple offers, and basically make sure that you get off the fence and you start looking for that house, because that's what's going to happen soon.
Yeah, step 1, just get pre-approved. Understand it's not as a lot of people are nervous to get pre-approved just because that maybe is that first step in signifying that you want to buy a house. But and whoever you're getting pre-approved with, make sure you're getting, you're understanding how much you can afford and what that looks like as an actual monthly payment. And play around with those numbers. For all my clients, I provide a personalized spreadsheet, and you can actually change the purchase price, and it'll spit out an actual mortgage volume, so you can see when you're looking at, if you're working with a realtor and they're sending you homes, you can see how much they're costing per month. And as you go on this journey, you'll see how interest rates lowers, that price will increase a bit. But get comfortable with that and know what you're looking for, and then when you're ready to pull the trigger, it's not too late. You can do it because you're ready to go.
Exactly. Well, that's the biggest things. Andrew's our guy for all things mortgages. Looks after me, looks after my clients, so his details are down below. But if you've got any questions on anything to do with real estate or the mortgages, just reach out to Andrew or myself and we'll get you taken care of.